Hiya, I hope you're keeping well. Today I'm going to do quite an autumn colour palette makeup look, just quite brown, coppery, that kind of thing. I've been back and forth with work for the last few weeks, so I've got quite a few new bits to try. So I just thought along the way I'll show you some new things I haven't tried yet, starting with just a little bit of Hada Labo. This is like a hyaluronic serum. Now, they're Japan's #1 skincare line, according to the bottle, but I haven't tried anything from them yet. I've seen lots of good things about them online, and Fiona Brackenbury the other day was talking about that in a live video. She said it's a really nice hyaluronic acid. So I'm going to start with a little bit of this all over, and then I know I showed you this the other day, but there's a new It Cosmetics Your Skin But Better foundation. I did a video using this the other day, doing like a half and half comparison between this and the CC cream. But today I'm going to put it all over just to show you what it looks like as a complete base. And then eyes-wise, I'm really excited actually. A lovely girl that I've followed on here for ages, I've never met her, she's called Beth. She's created her own makeup palette and it is so bright and lovely. So I'm going to have a little bit of a play with that. Now I'm going for kind of browny coppery colours, so I feel like it's a little bit of a cheat looking at all of the bright colours I could have gone for. But for today, the weather's got a bit colder and everything has started to feel like it's transitioned into autumn this week, hasn't it? So I just thought I'd go nice and coppery today, but maybe another day I'll go for something really acid bright. But first of all, if you can see, I'm going to keep my complexion. I want the coverage for the redness, but I also want to keep it as fresh as possible. And I've taken a little bit over my eyes to help to prime them, because really I want my eyes to do all the talking for this. So this is Beth's palette and these are the colours. So like, it is lovely. It's one of those that if you had it in the cupboard, whichever colour dress or anything you went for, you'd have something. I'm going to use a few of these kind of plummy shades. I'm going to use some matte colours all over to add a bit of shape, and then maybe add a little fleck of something a bit more metallic to bring it all together. So I'm going to start with a mid-brown on a really fluffy blending brush. And I'm just going to take this, first of all, through the socket, and then make quite a gentle wash across the eyelid. And what I'm going to do, I hope you can see me here, I'm going over your head into the mirror. What I'm going to do is really gently build these colours up. So I've gone in quite heavy there actually, so I'm just going to buff that out. And what I want is essentially a lovely seamless crease that gets more and more intense as I go onto that eyelid. So I'll keep my eye on you, maybe that'll help me to get it nice and even. Now, because I'm using quite a fluffy blending brush for this, that's going to enable me to have this nice soft finish through the socket. And then depending on how full I want to go with the eyes, I'll then have a look at my eyebrows and think, okay, if I want them to really pull the look together, I'll go nice and heavy. Or if it's feeling heavy enough, I'll strip it back and go for a softer brow. I've bought in a pencil and a clear gel so I can have a little play with what I'm going to do. Okay, so I've got like a nice soft colour through the socket. I'm going to take something a little bit flatter. This is an old Smashbox contour shadow brush. I might actually take, there's a matte kind of cranberry shade, but before I go in with that, I'm going to try this kind of chestnut brown. They're all quite foxy colours, the ones I've picked. And because they all have that warmth to them, they're going to be really good for making blue pop. So like, say on the colour wheel, blue and orange are opposites. So that's how those will make each other pop. But like, for example, if you have green eyes, you'll find that a maybe more of a red cranberry kind of colour will make them pop. Browns, if they're more warm, you might find that the blues will do the same thing. But these are going on lovely. Now, another thing I've done so far, I haven't put anything underneath, and I've been doing that a bit recently and not necessarily always going underneath, just seeing how it feels as I'm pulling it together. Got to make sure I really get into that corner. But I think I will just even this out and take a tiny bit underneath. And if you can see, I'm going back in with that original fluffy brush, and I've actually put a tiny bit of my first soft brown to really blend the corner of that shadow with the socket there. Okay, now, tiny little pencil brush. I'm going to go in with that mid brown. By the way, if you're in any way wondering about brushes or which shapes are best, which brushes do the best job, how to use brushes you've already got at home, I did a video recently, it's my last video before this one, all about different brushes, where to use each one, and also recommendations of like different brushes I've had for years, brushes that don't cost the earth but do a really good job, that kind of thing. So do have a little look at that if you're after any brush tips. I'm going to take that all the way in, I wasn't sure whether to. Okay, now as you can see, I've got two options really. I can either really widen that waterline or I can make it nice and dark. So I've got Charlotte Tilbury's Pillow Talk liner. This is quite a plummy colour, but also I'm going to use her Pillow Talk mascara. So I thought, why not just use the whole family there? That's made me water a tiny bit just because I'm always conscious of avoiding my lenses. So what I might do while they're watering for a second is give them a minute to breathe and go and do my brows. Now this isn't new, but it's just my fave because I didn't have a new brow product. So I'm just going to take a little bit of the IT Cosmetics Brow Power through the brows, nice and gentle, and brush it through. I don't necessarily, because I've got quite a lot going on in the shadow stakes, I don't necessarily want to draw on any excess hair. I just want to really groom and sculpt what's already there and make sure it looks nice and defined and really create almost like a hairy brow look so that that's nice and polished and the eyes are doing the talking. Lovely. I think because I'm sat in the natural light, I'm going to try and tap my face. The lighting's maybe a little bit off, but I'd rather personally always sit in the natural light because I feel like it gives you a better idea of the makeup than a ring light would. Okay, while I'm giving those eyes a little chance to recover, I've been finding actually with the new foundation, I don't really use powder with it. So I'm just going to go straight in with my bronzer. This is a bit of IT Sunshine in a Compact, which is completely matte. Now, I don't necessarily want to look like I've got loads of bronzer on or loads of makeup on. I just want to give an overall warm up to the complexion to make up for the fact that those pink colours are quite, what's the word, striking. So I just want everything else to look really healthy to give that its little moment. So that was on a nice big fluffy brush. Now, okay, let's go in. This is the Pillow Talk mascara from Charlotte Tilbury. I feel like, I don't know about you, but I've seen that many videos on this over the past few days. So hopefully I've watched enough of them to see what to do. It's a wand that is kind of, you've got two sides of bristles and a little dip in the middle that holds your product. So I imagine I hold it on its side and just push up here. No, so far, to be honest, that's absolutely lovely. I've not put any liner on or anything. I'll clean that up in a second once it's dry. I've not put any liner on or anything because I really want you to be able to see the colours of this shadow. And I feel like on me, once I've done a liquid liner, you reduce the amount of shadow that you can see significantly. So I've kept it nice and fresh. And I'm looking down into my mirror when I apply this, so I can grab every single lash. Now, let me see, I've got a little wipe there that I can tidy that with in a moment. Gorgeous mascara, actually. I always think if you've gone for a colour that you wouldn't usually wear on your eyes, it's always great to go in with a bit more mascara than usual so that it pulls it together and you've got all of that usual shape and definition that makes you feel more comfortable in the colour. Now, let me just get this out of the way. Lovely. And then to finish off, I got this palette actually the other day. I've recently started following Danessa Myricks. I feel like I'm the last person in the world to, because everyone is already onto her. But it's basically a palette of highlighters, and I've been having a little play for the last few days with like using it as eyeshadow, using it as blush. So I'm actually going to take one of these on an angled brush. Because I already put that bronzer on, I've kind of got some shape on my skin. And I'm just going to add a glow, a little bit down that nose, a little bit along the lips, to just give a really nice fresh skin finish. I'm also actually going to take a nice fluffy brush and take that same shade just under this brow bone to really make that pop. I would often go into those inner corners, but because my eyeshadow has gone in there, I think I'm going to leave that fresh. Pillow Talk again, I'm just going to go in with a tiny bit of Pillow Talk liner. I already had a touch of lip balm on. Now, again, the nice thing is I want to define my lips, but I want my eyes to do all the talking. So Pillow Talk for me is very similar to my natural lip colour. So I'd always say that to you. Find something that's similar to your natural lip colour, and if you buff it all over, you can just neaten everything up and, you know, give it that shape, but you've also got that little polished finish. And then one last new thing, this is the Trish McEvoy liquid lip colour. Trish does tend to do lips very, very well. And this is a nice kind of nude, kind of a dusky pink. So that'll finish it all off really well. Okay, well, there we go. Hope you enjoyed. The whole doing a new makeup video was because Laura Capon did a brilliant video the other day all about new makeup. So if you finish watching this one and you fancy watching something else, go and have a look at that because it was brilliant. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll be back in the swing of doing my videos as usual now. So I'll be speaking to you again very soon. Okay, take care.